Hi everyone, in this video we're going to be talking about on-page search engine optimization. So these are the things that you can do when you're publishing content to make sure that it is as optimized for search engines and to get you maximum traffic as possible. Let's talk about two different types of SEO. And SEO, by the way, stands for search engine optimization. So there are two types of SEO. There is off-page and there is on-page SEO. So let's talk about the two things separately. So off-page SEO mostly deals with what happens outside of your website, and primarily it focuses on the number of links to your website and the number of links to your content from other websites. So let me give you an example. When we look at a keyword such as how to lose weight, if I analyze that keyword in Ahrefs or pretty much in any other keyword research tool, and if I pull up all of the related terms for how to lose weight, let's explore the first page of search engine result pages. So we can see the keyword difficulty is 71. Of course, this is an amazing keyword. If you can rank on page 1 for something like how to lose weight, you can make a lot of money with your website. But let's look at the first page of results. Okay, what we can see here are domains that have tons of backlinks. So there are, for example, to this result number 1, how to lose weight fast, there are 11,292 backlinks pointing to this article, which is insane. There are 1,255 backlinks pointing to the second one, 410 pointing to position number 10, to this article, position number 10, 410 different backlinks from 106 domains. So that's what I mean when I say that you cannot directly control what other people do. Okay, so off-page SEO is basically how many other websites are linking to your articles to your website. And yes, off-page SEO is very important. If you can get a lot of backlinks to your article, you can increase its rankings. That's a key factor that Google considers. Okay, but we unfortunately cannot control it, at least directly. We can't just say, I want 1,000 links to my article. Those links have to happen naturally, ideally naturally in some way. You can, of course, we're going to talk about this in future modules, what you can do to maximize the number of links that you receive from other websites, but this is not something that you can do directly. So what can you do? Well, the whole concept of what I'm trying to teach in this course is to go for articles and keywords and topics where you can win using just on-page SEO, because you have direct control over this on-page SEO. And essentially, on-page SEO is about two things. The first thing is that you need to produce awesome in-depth content. So that is part of SEO. If you produce content that's excellent, that is part of your on-page search engine optimization. So this is something that you can do on your own page. And the second part of it is for you to be able to make it easy for Google to understand your content. If you can do those two things, if you can produce amazing content, and if you can make it easy for Google to understand your content, then you will get traffic. That's as simple as that. So in this actual video, we're going to be going over that. We're going to be going over the on-page SEO checklist. And you need to do this on every post, these things that we're going to be talking about. Soon it will become second nature to you, so it's not that hard. And as we're going through, just keep in mind that none of these are 100% hard rules. Okay, as long as you do most of them right, then you're going to be fine. Don't stress over it too much. Don't stress over when I link to this post, do I need to use, how to lose weight, or do I need to use the anchor, how to lose weight fast? It's not going to make a lot of difference. You just need to do 80 to 90% of these things correct, and you're going to be doing, a lot better than a lot of the other people out there. So this is simply going to be best practice. So just don't stress over it too much because no one really knows exactly what is going on with Google algorithm. We just know the best practices, and things that we do still cannot guarantee us success, but most of the time they do result in success. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is the post URL. It's also known as slug. You need to do this with every post of yours. You need to make sure that the post URL has 2 to 3 words maximum. So let's do this on the example of this keyword. The keyword will be what is numerology. So the slug or the post URL is this thing here where it says permalink. So by default, when you first create this, WordPress would have created a slug or a permalink that looks like this, which is a whole bunch of letters. So essentially, this is the URL that comes up when somebody looks for what is numerology on Google. Oops. This is the slug. So see this thing here, the lawofattraction.com, what is numerology? If your slug is long and messy, kind of like this, allure, story, see then it says numerology dash how dash to dash calculate dash life, etc. It does not look very appealing, and it does not kind of catch the eye of the viewer. So that's why it's a good idea to just keep it short and very relevant. Usually 2 to 3 words maximum is good. So in this instance, what I recommend you do is, like I said, 2 to 3 words maximum, just to say what is numerology. You know, that's all it is to making sure that your slug is the best that it can possibly be. Next topic we're going to look into is the correct usage of H1, H2, and H3 tags. So let me show you what those H1, H2, and H3 tags actually are. Okay, so when we look at our post, you will notice that the post has some larger text and some smaller text. The small text is called paragraph text, or sometimes people call it the body text. It's basically the regular text of your article. And when Google analyzes your page, they will pay attention to this. They will know that this is normal text and that these are headings. The way that they know this, by the way, is if you press Ctrl U, this will show you the on any browser. If you press Ctrl U, this will show you the source. And if you look at the source, you will see the actual code of the post. As you can see here, there is a starting paragraph that starts with this opening bracket P, closing bracket, and then the closing tag. So it's got the same P, but just with this backslash on the end. So that's how Google will see your post. And they will also see this thing where it says opening bracket H2, closing bracket history of numerology, and then the closing tag for H2. Okay, so that's the start of heading 2 and end of heading 2. And that's exactly why Google can tell that this is actually a heading. Okay, and as you can see, this one is an H2. And there is also an H1 in here somewhere. So let's just find it. You can see that H1 says what is numerology and why should you care. Now, what you will notice is that what is numerology and why you should care is the title of your post. So WordPress actually automatically will make the title of your post in the background that will make it H1, okay? And it's a good idea for you to have just one H1 tag on your page, because this way you're telling Google that the most important thing that your page is about is this, what is inside the H1 tag. So all of your other headings, like this here, history of numerology, etc., they simply show Google the structure of your page, the structure of your post, and they need to be H2. And luckily for us, it's very easy. You can just select any line and make it H2 just like that from WordPress. We can make it H3, etc. Okay, and then if you want to change it back, you can always just change it back to paragraph. See where it says paragraph, then it becomes normal. So this ensures the correct breakup of the post in Google's eyes, and that will result in the best possible search engine outcome for you from usage of tags. So don't make the mistake of making all of these H1, because that's going to be very confusing for Google to understand what your post is actually about and what is the most important thing that they should care about. So in summary, WordPress automatically makes H1 your heading. Use H2 for sections on the page, so break up your content into sections. That's also a very good idea. And then you can also use H3 for subsections, but that is totally optional. It's up to you. Just don't mix up H1 and H2. The next question is, should you put keywords into H2 and H3 headings? And well, Yes, you should. So what you can do and what you should do is insert variations of your keyword into H2 and H3 tags, and also insert LSI keywords. So let me show you exactly what I mean. If you search for what is numerology in Google and you scroll all the way down, you will see that there are some suggested keywords here. Okay, so it says searches related to what is numerology. It says what is numerology in psychology, how to calculate numerology, numerology test, numerology calculator. It's a good idea to include a couple of these, maybe one or two of them, into your post as a heading, as long as it makes sense. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about when I said there is no hard and fast rule. So for this article in particular, what actually makes sense is this one here, numerology basics. This keyword. I'm going to take this keyword. Sorry, I don't seem to be able to copy, so I'm just going to have to retype here. So basics of numerology. Is that what it says? Oh, numerology basics, apologies. Okay, numerology basics. Okay, because this was history before, I can just recall it numerology basics. But what this tells Google is that your article is about what is numerology. And also, you know, that's the heading of your article. Let me just update this. Okay, so Google will see that the heading of your article is about what is numerology, and then you have a section about numerology basics. So to them, what this is going to tell is that you've got a keyword and they think that numerology basics is actually relevant to what is numerology, and you've done that on your page. You know, you've connected the dots for Google, that you've made it easy for Google to understand that your page is actually relevant to what you're trying to achieve here, to what is numerology. Now, you can't insert all of them, only do this if this makes sense. For example, if you start talking about numerology 4, you know, in the heading, it might not make sense, but a good practice, just good practice, is to include one or two of these in your headings and make it an H2 tag. Okay. You also should include LSI keywords, these kind of related keywords, in some places in your text. Again, include several of them, don't go overboard, but this is good practice because Google thinks that these searches, well, Google knows that these searches are relevant to your main search. And if you can include them in your text, then you'll be catering to the people who are searching for what is numerology, and then they're searching for what is numerology in psychology, how to calculate, all of those kind of things. You're giving them a chance to discover your content, and you're giving Google a signal that your content is topically, semantically relevant to the user's search query. So as a recap, insert variations of your main keyword and LSI keywords into H2 and H3 tags and vary it up. You know, you don't have to always do it, but it's a good idea. It's just best practice according to search engine optimization experts' advice, and that's what I personally do on my posts as well. Okay, keyword density is the next one. So about 0.5% is about right. So if you have an article with 1,000 words, then for 1,000 words, you should have about 5 times when you mention that exact keyword in the text of your article. Now, the main thing here is that you should write naturally. Don't stuff the keywords in, okay, and vary it up. For example, here our main keyword is what is numerology. So I'm going to go to the bottom. I'm going to insert that as our focus key phrase, and then I'm going to pull up Yoast. And Yoast is going to say to us that keyword density, okay, it says it was found 15 times. Okay, so 15 times it was found in the text of the article. Now, I think that if I inserted many more times, it's probably going to tell me that that's too many. Let's see. Yeah, key phrase density. So it was mentioned 52 times. Now see, it actually says that that's way too much, and don't over optimize. That's just going to make it look unnatural. So inserted the right amount of times for according to Yoast, I think it's 0.5 to maybe 1%, 1.5%. Don't overuse it. And also, if your key phrase was, you know, the actual keyword that you were targeting, for example, was a long keyword like a 6 or 8 word keyword which exists. So for example, what is numerology in psychology? You actually cannot mention that keyword, what is numerology in psychology. You know, this one here, what is numerology in psychology? It's very hard to write a text where you say this exact phrase 10 times. You know, would you like to know what is numerology in psychology? Well, if you would like to know what is numerology in psychology, then you've come to the right place. You know, you're just making it sound very mechanical and robotic, and it sounds like you're spamming. So just keep that in mind, that you need to use the keyword sparingly. Okay, you need to use the keyword sparingly, and generally if you go with the advice from Yoast SEO, then you will do it correctly, because Yoast monitors those things. That's why I like this plugin. Next, let's talk about internal and external links. So as a general rule of thumb, between 3 and 5 external links and 3 and 5 internal links is a good idea. Once again, let's use this article as an example, and here at the bottom, Yoast is actually going to tell us outbound links, no outbound links appear, and internal links, no internal links appear on the page. The reason why Yoast is telling you that is because the internet was built around the concept of pages linking to other pages. If you link to another page and 1,000 other people link to that page, probably that is a good page, and that's how Google knows to rank this page above all others. Now, for you personally, why would you put outbound links to potentially your competitors? Well, you know, if you never link out to anybody, it will mean that your website is not really a legitimate website, because legitimate websites, they link to other websites. That's just a normal behavior. So if you are not linking out to any other websites, that's giving Google a signal that you're not referencing other websites on the internet. So you need to include outbound links. Probably the trick here is for you not to link to your direct competitors for the direct keyword that you are also trying to link for. So try to link to other websites that contain relevant information but are not directly competing with any of the keywords that you've written about. Okay, so let's insert some outbound links. Okay, the way that I would do this is, and like we talked about before, it's 3 to 5 links. Okay, so for example, I might link to Wikipedia. So I'll just say numerology and I'll link to Wikipedia, because okay, so let's see. Wikipedia. All right. So if I link to, you know, I am actually not competing. I'm not going to be targeting the keyword numerology, just numerology. It's too competitive, and I would never outrank Wikipedia anyway. So if I link to this link here, it's not going to hurt me. And what it's going to tell Google is that I've linked to a high authority source, and therefore my article is a legitimate article that is referencing some high quality sources. Think about this. Think about Wikipedia. Actually, that's a good way to think about this. Wikipedia, look how many links Wikipedia has to lots and lots of different sources. So they link out to other Wikipedia pages, and they also at the bottom here, see, they've got this sources, and they link out to other websites. And it doesn't seem to be hurting Wikipedia, does it? Wikipedia is doing great. So a high quality piece of content, for example, scientific research, they always link out to high quality sources. That's what you need to do with your website as well. Okay, so we've got one link here to numerology. We might insert another one somewhere here. For example, typically a numerologist, and okay, these are known as master numbers. Okay, so I might search for master numbers in numerology. I'm not going to talk about master numbers in numerology in my posts, so I can take perhaps this link here, okay, and then I will link out to this article. Okay, so you will do this 3 to 5 times, and now look at what happened. For outbound links, okay, it says good job, I've now got outbound links. So now you need to do the same for internal links. So it's a good idea to always interlink your posts, because the readers, as they read your articles, they might click on the internal link and check out your other content first of all, And second of all, that's also good for search engine optimization, because having a link from one article to another article will increase the rank of that article that you're linking to. So let's say here I want to rank for 707 angel number. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this post like that. And then in here, I'm going to find a place where, in the article about what is numerology, I'm going to find a place where I can mention 707 angel number. So here I talk about number 7, a spiritual number. 7 can be both dreamy and spiritual, while also being deceptive and insincere. Okay, so here I can put, read more about using number 7 in numerology in our article about 707 angel number. Is that the, yeah, that's the keyword that we're targeting. Okay, just like that. And then I might make it, so I might press this italic to make it italicized. And then I'm going to take this link, copy, and then I'm going to just highlight this 707 angel number like this and paste it there. And now boom, I've got my internal link. Okay, I've linked from one article to another. And I recommend that you do this 3 to 5 times throughout each article. But now what's going to happen is that for internal links, I'm also now green on Yoast. So this is how we do this. Now let's talk about anchor text for internal and external links. Now anchor text is this. Okay, see these letters that come up in blue in the link, master numbers. So the actual text that comprises the link, this is called anchor text. And you need to make sure that anchor text is varied and not over optimized. Here is what I mean by that. So see in this article, I used anchor text 707 to link to my article on my website about 707 angel number. So I said 707 angel number. This is an exact match for the keyword that I'm trying to target here. Now, in the next article that you write, and when you link to 707 angel number from the next article, try to use a slightly different anchor text. Use something like number 707 in numerology. Okay, number 707 in numerology. So you're just varying it up. You're not always making it the same text, because if all of your internal links are always the same text, then this is going to look spammy to Google. And once again, this is not a good idea. You need to vary it up. Next, let's talk about images. So with the images, there is a rule where once again, you don't need to overdo the keyword optimization on images, but you can and you should do some. So once again, just don't go too crazy and use the main keyword in one image on the article, and in the other images, use variations of that keyword. Let me show you exactly what I mean. So here in this article, we're using 3 different images. This image with the numbers, the big blue one, this image, this kind of brown looking image, and then we also have this featured image in the bottom right. Hopefully you can see this behind my camera capture. All right, and for each of them, if you click on the image or when you're inserting that image, there are going to be properties that you can open or settings. So now I've clicked on the image, and then I can click this called, this little button that appears, says edit. So I'm going to click that. And that is going to bring up a window where I can edit the so-called alt text. So see where it says alternative text? In some places it says alt text. So we need to make this relevant to our keywords. In this post, we're trying to target the keyword, what is numerology? Okay, so let's just call it that under alt text over here. And I'm going to update it. Now the next image, what you should do is give it a slightly different alternative text. So once again, what you can do is take some LSI keywords. What is numerology? And take a related keyword, any related keyword really. For example, numerology and meaning of numbers. Okay. And then we're going to type in numerology and meaning of numbers. So this is still relevant, but it's not robotic, just repeating the same thing over and over again. This way you're avoiding over optimization. Same thing with the featured image. See what it says alt text. This one includes what is numerology, because that's what I put in when I was inserting this text originally. Well, now we've already done another image with what is numerology, so now I have to change this and I have to give it perhaps numerology basics. Let's call it numerology basics. Okay, numerology basics image. All right. And as you can see, guys, there is no black and white, hardwired rule that these are the exact things that you have to do. You just need to use your judgment and don't overdo it. So using the main keyword once is fine, and then just try to use the rest of them naturally, the way that you would describe something if you were just uploading an image naturally. So these are the rules for images. Next, let's talk about meta title. So for meta title, the best thing is to just go with Yoast advice. That plugin is really good at telling you what to do and what not to do. What is meta title? Well, this is the bit that comes up here. When somebody searches for what is numerology, this text that comes up in large letters, this is called title. This is the title of your page, and you can control it from within your WordPress interface. So this bit here, what is numerology and why you should care, is the exact same thing as, see, there is a preview, a little bit of a snippet of exactly how it will come up on Google. Okay, so you can actually change this and see it says SEO title, and this is coming up in yellow, so it means it's too short. So it has a variable here, title, so it's just taken the title from the top. So I can actually delete this and then insert this. Sorry, I'll just copy and paste this. What is numerology and why you should care? All right, and see, it's telling me that it's too short. So I can still type in a few words into the title because there is room. And it's a good idea to try and include maybe 1 or 2 more keywords if I can, or just make it sound exciting, because the users will be browsing this screen and they'll be going, what is numerology? Okay, what is numerology? How does it work? Boring. What is numerology? Boring. But then see, it says here, how to calculate life path and destiny. They might go, wow, that sounds really cool and really interesting. I want to learn this. So this may increase your traffic just because people are captivated by your title. Because normally people will scan and they'll just look at these large letters and they'll find something that is interesting for you. So that's why here you can say, what is numerology? So let's call it something like unbelievable results of using the right numbers correctly. Okay, so something like this. All right, I'm one letter too long. All right, I'm not gonna bore you here, but you're getting the picture, right? So you might need to play with this a little bit, but something like, what is numerology? Amazing results from using the numbers correctly. That might captivate your audience, and they might start clicking on your post instead of somebody else's post, and that might increase your click-through rate and might increase your traffic as well. So always think about this SEO title. The next thing is meta description. So meta description, again, it's a good idea to go with Yoast advice, and once again, give it an exciting description. But in the meta description, you can include parts of related keywords and LSI keywords as well to try and appear in more searches when Google tries to determine what your post is about. So once again, meta description is this bit here that comes up just after the title. And in some places, people actually type it in. Normally, if they have typed in the meta description, because it's only a limited amount of characters in there, it will sound like a complete statement or a complete sentence, complete paragraph. So this is a complete one, so people have created a custom description. Whereas here, see, it says July 16th, 2018, and then the sentence is not finished, it's got ... It means that they didn't bother creating a proper description for it. So what Google has done is they've just taken a random piece from their content and they've just inserted it as meta description. So it's a good idea for you to try and create your own custom meta description, and you do that through through Yoast SEO. Under SEO title, it says here meta description, and this is where you can type it up. And this is a good place for you to make it sound exciting and also to include a couple of related keywords to try and get more search traffic because you make it more relevant. And when you include a couple of LSI keywords, then you might be able to actually appear in Google for those search terms as well. All right, so I've written some meta description here just to demonstrate my point. So I've written it as, what is numerology anyway? See some unexpected results of tuning into the number sequences, learn numerology basics, and see our numerology calculator. Okay, look, I'm not that great at writing meta descriptions, just telling you what I do myself. Okay, maybe there are some other people that do this better. But the logic that I'm following here is I've included my main keyword, what is numerology, and then I've included some sort of hopefully captivating text. So someone might see this and think, well, I do want to see some unexpected results. You know, what is this that they're talking about? Tuning into number sequences. That sounds really cool. And then what I have done is I've included a couple of LSI keywords, a couple of related keywords. So this numerology basics and numerology calculator. The reason why I've done that is because I've included that, Google has given that to us at the bottom as keywords that are relevant to what is numerology. They've put in here, see, numerology calculator and numerology basics. Okay, so I've worked a couple of these into the meta description. So now what's going to happen after we save these, when Google indexes our posts, they will show this as the meta description instead of just taking random bits from our posts that they think are most relevant. And so we've made it easy for Google to understand what our page is actually about. So guys, these are the basics of on-page SEO. I hope that you found this useful. This is exactly what I do. This is not rocket science, so don't be too afraid of it. As long as you're following and doing 70, 80, 90% of what I've shown you here in the video, you're going to be in really great shape. So don't sweat it whether you've done it 100% right, or 90% right. It's all good. It's going to work for you. Just follow the general logic here. And of course, if there are any questions, I'm always available for you in the group to answer. This is a process and you're going to get better and better at this as you're going along. So thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.